Okay, so welcome to the October meeting of Pembrey Town Council. Next speaker who's meant to be speaking but hasn't arrived yet, so we'll move them around as appropriate in the agenda. So we start with 23, 24, 1 to 9, Chair's remarks. Special me. Happy Halloween to everyone. I can see some Friday faces in the camera. Thank you from me to Councillor Winard for chairing the last meeting when both Councillor Trueworth and I were away. Best wishes to Councillor Williams for his continuing recovery from serious illness. As everyone will have realised coming here tonight, autumn is definitely upon us and the weather's turned. There was a recent storm that did cause some flooding in the parish, so I would encourage all residents to be prepared. I don't know if Councillor Heseltine, if there's anything from the emergency report group for storm.
No, other than Michelle had just a couple of folk ringing him up for sandbags, but other than that, no.
So, nothing too much, but I would encourage people to be prepared for future storms and whatever may be coming our way. There has been, I don't know if people have seen it on social media, put something out about a spate of thefts from VWs, 19 plates onwards, people breaking windows and stealing the computers out of them. So if you own one of those, please do take care of it and keep an eye on it. I think something for Pembrey that's come about in the last day is that the station ticket office closures have all been scrapped by the government, which is good. And for us, I think obviously there'll be bonfire night activities in various places, but we're not holding one. So our next major event will be the Remembrance Parade on the 12th of November, and a little bit before. Councillor Carney, if you want to say anything about the Remembrance Parade?
No, just all going headers, normal.
Everybody welcome?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You can't find it. John, are you all right to speak to this chap because you're cutting me? Maybe you'll know which street he's talking about. Is that all right?
Yeah.
get down speaker.
We'll move on to 23, 24, 130, apologies for absence. As everyone has seen the book, we're quite short tonight, so we've got apologies from Councillor Drucker, Councillor Williams, Councillor Winard, Councillor Fenton and Councillor Miller. I propose we take them all together.
Second.
Provided by Councillor Heseltine, seconded by Councillor Knight. Yeah, all right. 23, 24, 131, disclosures of interest to receive declarations of interest from councillors and items on the agenda. Does anybody have any? No? Okay. To receive written requests for dispensation, do we have any? No. Okay. Move swiftly on then. 23, 24, 132, minutes of the previous meeting. Does anybody have any comments or corrections on the minutes of the previous meeting? Proposed by Councillor Clough, seconded by Councillor Marriott. All in favour? No, I think that's a reasonable.
Yeah.
So, okay, minutes approved. 23, 24, 133, confidential items to be discussed after item 149. Is there anything on the agenda that people think should be moved to the confidential section? No, I'll take that as a no. 23-24-134 is our presentation from our speaker, who we're still trying to give directions to get here. So we'll move on to 23-24-135, public participation. So members of the public are reminded this is their opportunity to speak to the meeting on any topic relevant to the work of the council. However, they may not speak to a resident unless specifically invited to do so by the chair. Peter, I know you said you'd like to speak. Just so you're aware, we do record this, so it will be in the public domain. That's a problem.
Do you want me to, Madam Chairman, do you want me to introduce myself?
Up to you.
Oh, no. Well, I'm Peter Earl, I'm senior deacon here at Cottingley Town Hall. I am a resident of Cottingley, so we have 3 parish councillors to represent me. The matter I want to bring up to the council, I don't think you can do anything, but you can flag it up. It's on the 16th of October 2023. The new crematorium at Shea Grange was opened for the first time. Now this, where it is a black spot for buses. There's nothing there. So I just wanted the council to flag it up, and if any other organisation flag it up as well, to say, can we have a bus on that stretch of road so that people can get to the crematorium?
Okay.
I don't know how you're going to word it in your minutes, but you know, I'm not saying Bingfield Town Council can't, you know, physically get a bus service going, but you can flag it up to.
Do we only use hearses?
You are. Other sources.
The people aren't in it. They've got to stay there as well.
I have to say, I agree with Peter, because I only found out by accident that Nantwood was closing. It's been open, been very under the cup, hasn't it? I found out through that Nantwood was closing, and then there's one opening, and as Peter says, there isn't a bus.
Is that a bus from Cottingley or a bus from Finley or a bus from
Well, a bus from somewhere.
I don't think I'm not aware, I'm not a person, but I don't think there's a bus that goes up Cottingley. There's one that goes up Cottingley Cliff Road and turns off and goes down Nantwood Drive. There's nothing that actually goes up and goes back to Haworth Road. I don't think so. I think the other one goes on Haworth Road and then down Sander Lane, but I'm not understanding.
Okay.
Perhaps we make a representation to YPT, West Yorkshire Passenger Transport Executive, make a representation to them.
I mean, I know they have just recently, I assume people have got it from the team. I got an email this week from a group of bus companies talking about making buses better and filling in provisions and that is something we'd like feedback into them. Okay.
Thank you.
And also we do have 2 of the ward councillors here tonight. We've heard you as well. Was there anything else you wanted?
No, another one. Can I go now?
Yes.
Can I get back to you? Thank you.
I was going to say Councillor Curdo, because it just tripped up the tongue. Mr. Curdo.
Hi, so in April I had conversations with Council Head at the time, Mr. Shaw, who is now subsequently Councillor Shaw. So I wanted to understand, so this is a 2-part question, so I'll ask the first part and then second part afterwards. I wanted to know what led to the Damascene conversion from wanting to kill Bingley Town Council to becoming presumably a very proactive, independently thinking and constructive member of Bingley Town Council, please, Councillor Shaw.
To be honest, I think this is a set-up thing at the moment, because he seems to be the second person seems to be turning up to accuse me of all this and everything. But I've always been involved with Bingley, and I don't necessarily agree with it, but it's something we have to deal with and get to make the best of what we can do and support our town centre.
The second part of the question for me is that I've been contacted by members of the council and other individuals who have been involved with various groups connected to the council, asking if I can get involved in working groups or when there are still vacancies come back. And the reason for that being is that they felt that there was a desire to frustrate and filibust and all the rest of it on one side of the room. Now it's the Conservative and Conservative leaning councillors who have had these accusations levelled at them. So I wanted to understand whether it was local Conservative policy to back the dismantling of Bingley Town Council. I think it's important that residents know this well in advance of the local elections in May.
Where's all that come from? I don't know. Yeah.
Well, two separate councils.
Being that councillor Wheatley himself said he was against it at one of our previous interactions with him. I am of the view that it's here, we need to do the best we can for the people we represent.
I don't know that we have a spokesman for
Nope.
the group, because there isn't a group, or I don't
Nope.
That was it.
That was it? Okay, thank you. Say where you're going.
I'm going to go catch the deacon.
Okay, so we will move back to 23, 24, 134, which is a presentation regarding the Bradford train proposal.
Right, so we've had technical problems and we're not able to put the presentation, the press assembly presentation beforehand on. We're not able to connect it to the projector. But I've got it here. Would you like to come and sit up here? As long as you've got it here, I suppose.
Can I just send it by email to them now?
And I haven't got any internet.
No, it's not there.
I can put a hotspot on if you want.
I've done it.
I've got a sort.
I can give you a hotspot if you want. If that helps.
Not everybody will be able to take it.
Yeah, no, everybody's got.
Big bird to look at the presentation afterwards, I suppose, and we'll certainly look at it afterwards.
Okay. Apologies for being late. I've been trying to find this place for the last half hour. And I sat down to stick all over the place. And
It's not the easiest.
I have 3 residents and then your colleague actually found me, but I wasn't going to call. Right. I'm a professor of transport and I've done a lot of work over the years on investing, the effects of investing in light rail systems in cities, not just in Britain, in Canada, in Europe, all over the place. To me, there is a huge opportunity in Bradford to make the rail network more effective, because since Victorian times you've had 2 rail networks. You've had one based on Foster Square, you've had one based on interchange, and they are a frustrating distance apart, and neither of them are right in the city centre. In fact, the redevelopments 40 years or so ago actually pushed them further out in both cases than they actually were. So, press on. Okay, right. So the tram train proposal that I put together earlier this year would transform train access to and through Bradford city centre. So the 3 reasons why the existing rail services underperform is the 2 stations we've got are pretty inaccessible, they're very run down, and they're not a very pedestrian, passenger friendly environment. There's no city centre station as such. It's nearly a kilometre or 12 minutes walk apart between the 2, and the train services are pretty low frequency. What are the solutions? Well, the all singing, all dancing expensive solution, which will never happen, is an underground tunnel between Forster Square and Interchange. Costs far too much, wouldn't improve city centre access itself, and would have a very long lead time. It would take 15 to 20 years if the will and the money was there to actually achieve it. It's not going to happen. The second is a much more lightly, cheaper, quicker and easier way of revamping the train services, and that's an on-street tram train connection between Foster Square and Interchange, with new city centre tram stops extending both the Ilkley and Skipton trains through to Interchange. So instead of finishing at Foster Square, to go down Market Street and up Bridge Street to Interchange. Much cheaper, shorter lead time to opening between 5 and 10 years, and greatly improves access to the city centre from 11 Bradford City Council wards. In other words, over a third of the wards in Bradford would have improved access to the city centre. There are two alternative routes for the city centre route between Foster Square and Interchange. The best one by a long way is via Cheapside Market Street, Bridge Street, with new stops outside Broadway Shopping Centre and at City Hall, St James's Square. So it really gets you to where you want to go. Or via the derelict post office owned land east of the middle of the Tell, along Kirkgate, a new stop at the rear of the Broadway Centre, along Wells Street and Vicar Lane. Now, that's where a lot of the buses are going to be moved with the reorganisation and pedestrianisation of Market Street. It's already very tight, and it would be a suboptimal solution. But whichever route was followed, if we ever see the high-speed rail station at James Market at Essex Street, you could extend it. It's relatively easy to extend it. And trams and tram trains can go up gradients and round sharp curves, unlike heavy rail. So if you've been to Sheffield, you'll have seen the very steep gradients that both the trams and the tram trains can actually go up. So those are the alternative routes. What are the advantages? Light rail of tram train. They are light rail vehicles that can run both on street and on the national rail network alongside mainline trains. You get much higher frequency of services and closer spacing of stations and stops than you do with a heavy rail system. They were pioneered in Karlsruhe in Germany in the 1980s. They've been replicated elsewhere in large parts of Europe, and the UK's trial scheme opened between Sheffield Meadowhall and Rotherham in 2018. So we've got one example operating in Sheffield Rotherham as an extension of the Supertram system. I've got pictures here which you will not see of the Karlsruhe tram train in the street to show you what it looks like, and of the Sheffield tram trains in Sheffield city centre near to Cathedral. So the proposal would convert the Ilkley Forster Square, that's the Wharfdale line, and the Skipton Forster Square, that's the Airedale line, with tram train operation to Bradford Interchange. It would require new tram trains, but in any case, the existing electric rail cars will need replacing in 10 to 20 years, and tram trains are a lot cheaper than heavy rail electric cars. The frequencies of both light rail and tram trains can be much faster. They are driver operated, they don't have to have any other staff on board. They are usually 2 carriages long. They can operate on these 2 routes to 3 or 4 per hour, only constrained by capacity issues at the junctions, particularly Shipley. So if it went to 3 to 4 an hour, it would provide 6 to 7 tram trains per hour across the city centre and to and from Shipley and Frizinghall. And then it would drop to between 3 and 4 per hour elsewhere for all stations between Bradford and Ilkley and Bradford and Skipton. It would boost connections to and through Bradford city centre from, and I'll run through the stations, I'm sure you know what they are, Frizinghall, Shipley, Bayland, Guyson, Menston, Burley, Wharfdale, Benridge, Ilkley, on the Wharfdale line, and Saltaire, Bingley, Crossflats, Keighley, Steventon, Silston, as well as to and from Commonwealth and Skipton on the Airedale line. It would also, by combining the two separate rail networks, provide cross-platform connections from tram trains to regional and national train services at Bradford Interchange. And it would also improve connections to regional and national train services at Shipley to Leeds and beyond. Evidence from many other cities in Europe and North America and elsewhere shows that tram train would boost the city centre economy by opening the new stops, preferably the two stops if you use the Market Street route, because it provides much better access to jobs, to shopping and to leisure facilities. It actually gets people much closer to where they want to be. What are the costs? Well, that's the big question. It would require minimal land acquisition because the construction of the new city centre route, less than 1 kilometre in length, and 2 city centre stops, is all on Bradford Council owned land. Okay, it's existing streets owned by Bradford Council. You have to relocate the utilities, and that's the biggest expense of running trams or tram trains through city centres. You've got to move the water pipes, the sewers, the electricity and the telecoms and the gas pipes away from the line of the tram train tracks, so that if there are any maintenance issues or breakdown issues later, you can get to them without disrupting the tram trains. And you would obviously have to construct twin tram train tracks and 2 high platform stops. High platform because the rest of the route is the existing mainline stations, some of which would have mainline trains as well as the tram trains running. Many of them would, as well as the running on them. So Bingley, for example, would have that. It would have the Carlisle trains, it would have the electric trains to Skipton, and it would have the tram trains into Bradford. And there's also an opportunity later for a second phase of extensions to potentially include Otley along the old railway track bed from Menston to Leeds Bradford Airport from Guiseley. There's a disused route that went as far as Yeadon, and because tram trains can go up quite steep hills, so you can get from Yeadon up to the airport quite easily. And the plans at the moment for West Yorkshire Combined Authority are to put a stop too far away to walk to the airport on the Leeds-Harrogate line, and then a shuttle bus from the so-called airport station. What you need to have is the train or the tram train actually in the terminal, as happens at Manchester Airport if you've been on Metrolink, and it happens in so many other cities in Europe. You could extend it to Skipton Town Centre. At the moment, Skipton Station is an awkward walk away from the market and the shops. You could extend it on street into Skipton Town Centre, and you could convert or extend the existing lines to Halifax and Huddersfield as a future phase. So the initial phase is building less than 1 kilometre of new track and building a set of tram trains to operate much higher frequency services than the ones we've got at the moment. And Bradford Tram Train would complement West Yorkshire's 2040 transport strategy. The difference is that this is a cost-effective investment that's deliverable within 5 to 10 years, whereas the West Yorkshire 2040 transport strategy needs a massive amount of money, and unless there is a huge change in government attitude towards investing in urban transport, or more importantly, unless there is the will to raise money locally, which is what happened in France and Germany and Spain. They don't depend on central government, they depend on local funding by the private sector and by councils. We're not likely to see the West Yorkshire Transport Strategy in full because it's not really affordable, whereas this is. So that's the essence of the presentation. I'm sorry you couldn't see the illustrations of what the tram train looks like, but you can look down the screen afterwards, you can see it. And I have produced, it's not quite what I said, I have produced a short summary, if you want to pass them round, and probably one between two. Okay. And if you email me if you want a copy, or if you let the clerk know you would like a copy, I'll email you the presentation. That's probably the best thing to do. I'm sorry you've not seen the presentation, but we thought it would be there. And obviously, if you can see what the tram train looks like, you can see what the route would look like, and it would help. Okay, thank you. If you've got any questions, I'll be happy to try and answer them.
So, when you say the tram train comes in Foster Square and goes across to the interchange, is it the same train? So,
It would skip them through Bixley, Foster Square to interchange, and the other one would go from Ilkley to Guiseley to Shipley to Foster Square to interchange. So it would replace the existing.
But the existing electric trains would just go straight to like,
They would
skip to Leeds.
They would Leeds would keep the electric trains.
Yeah.
But the tram trains would serve Bradford and unite the two rail networks in Bradford and give a real boost to the economy in the city centre, which frankly is not easy to access unless you're in a car. The issue about frequency is important. If you go to Manchester, there's 8 light rail routes and they are planning quite a few new ones and several tram train routes. They run at 12-minute frequencies all evening. They run at 6-minute frequencies all day. They run at 12-minute frequencies on Sundays. So there's no issue about can I use a tram train or a tram to get to the cinema, to get to the theatre, to get to the restaurant, to get to the shops. Of course you can, but it's the maximum you get away with just a few minutes. Whereas at the moment, the best you've got is an hourly service, and then you've got to fight your way through a not very attractive urban environment to get to Foster Square to get on the train in the first place.
How do you personally see this progress? I mean, have you... This is your idea?
Yeah, it's based on...
Have you put that?
Yes, I have. I've put it to West Yorkshire Combined Authority, I've put it to Councillor Susan Hinscliffe as the leader of Bradford Council. They have noted it. They said that they will discuss it probably this autumn. I put the proposal out in January this year. It's already been to Action on West Yorkshire Transport. It's already been to Belden Town Council. I'm taking it to Ilkley Town Council in the next few weeks. I brought it here. I've offered to make a presentation to all the other town councils in the Airedale and Wharfdale valleys. But to me, you need some blue sky thinking. You've really got to think of something imaginative and new and much less expensive and much quicker to deliver than the wonderful plans that they have for West Yorkshire, but which require billions of pounds. And personally, I can't see that amount of money coming forward. Now, it's interesting in Greater Manchester, where I've worked most of my working life, and have been involved in researching the Metrolink tram system since it started in 1992. Most of the money to build the later lines 4 to 8, has come from Greater Manchester. If they'd waited for the government, it would have not happened. The 10 councils in Greater Manchester agreed that this was a priority and that they would set aside a top slice of council tax for 30 years to provide a transport fund to invest in the transport that they thought was needed to transform the economy. And if anybody's been to Manchester recently, I think you would agree that the city centre of Manchester is booming, and the economy has really turned round. And what a contrast it is with Bradford and even with Leeds, in terms of being a really buzzy place with fantastic access and a huge and growing population and a lot more economic activity. So, for example, in the 1980s, fewer than 500 people lived in Manchester Central Business District, that's the city centre. There's now 25,000, and it's growing by a couple of thousand a year. And that's because we've had a complete transformation, and it's underpinned by putting light rail systems through the city centre. So you've got a series of stops in the city centre, and now in Manchester they can add conversion of existing rail lines with tram train into those routes. You've got 2 routes now in the city centre in Manchester. Go to any major European city, you'll you'll see it's already happened there as well.
Councillor Shaw.
Just, because I'm working in the town centre at the moment,
Yeah.
and just, if this is seriously to be thought about, would it not make sense to do something with it before all the Bradford money that we're paying into the town centre actually, and the infrastructure we're doing now, with all this being wasted?
It wouldn't be wasted, but it would obviously be more cost effective.
It's going to be wasted.
If
It have to be ripped back up again to be put back in,
No,
wouldn't it?
not necessarily, no. I mean, trams run through pedestrianised streets in dozens and dozens of cities. And in fact, they are best running through pedestrianised streets rather than competing with other traffic. So it would obviously be cheaper if they did this before they pedestrianised Market Street. But
But they're doing it now, so...
They are doing that now. But the fact is that this is an achievable solution. It would have obviously been better if somebody had thought about it earlier and had factored it into the plans. But as I said, at the moment, although Leeds city centre is doing pretty well, Leeds is the biggest city in Western Europe without a light rail system of any sort, and we know the history of that. They had a plan 20 years ago and it was cancelled by government, and there's never been a willingness to provide local funding to replace it. But
the footings the footings you'd have to put in to put a rail network through the town centre would be quite immense. So all the pedestrian areas that they're going to put in now, we're all going to have to be ripped back up again and wasted.
No, not wasted. You'd put them back in once you move the utilities. If you go to Sheffield, you've got extensive areas of trams running through streets. Likewise in Manchester, likewise in Nottingham, likewise in Birmingham. This has happened in several cities already in Britain, and it's the norm. You go into France and cities as small as 100,000 people have got a tram route running through the city centre. It depends whether you want to make your city centre more accessible for a large part of the urban region. The advantage you've got here is that you've got two lines that were electrified in the 1990s, which could be easily and cheaply extended. You're not talking about building a whole new network, you're talking about less than 1 kilometre of tram track. If you're trying to build a whole new network, which Manchester was doing for 30, 40 years, it's much more expensive, much slower. You've got to buy the land, you've got to you go through a lot more hurdles. Whereas if you are building a short city centre section through council-owned land, it is a much more doable and a cheaper thing to achieve. But it's a question of whether there's enough vision in Bradford to want to make this transformation. And to be honest, I think we'll be waiting for a very long time to see the new high-speed station at the Old James Market. I really do. And so although that was announced in the government statement earlier this month when they cancelled HS2 to Manchester, there's no money following it, or certainly not sufficient money following it to make sure it happens. And this is achievable. This could be in place and running before the end of the 2020s, whereas that, at best, you're probably talking 20 years if the money's available.
Yeah, you talked about costs. You haven't given us any indication of the cost. Is this something you can't really do now, or?
Individual schemes are all different.
Yeah.
You're talking here about hundreds of millions, not billions. But how much it would be, you would have to, you'd have to work out how much it would cost to shift the utilities, how much it would cost to actually build this short section of track into 2 new platforms. You can look at the costs. The Rotherham Sheffield scheme, which was a trial scheme, cost £70 million, and that had a short section of track between Meadowhall South and the freight railway that serves the steel mills in Rotherham and Sheffield. And then it runs on the steel railway tracks to Rotherham Central, and then on the passenger and freight tracks, and then deviates off to Parkgate, which is a retail park. So there they built 600 metres, and it wasn't on street, so they didn't have to shift utilities, and they built, I think it was 8 new tram trains to operate on it. And they had to convert the rails between Meadowhall and Sheffield Cathedral so that they could operate on the same wheeled flange basis as the heavy rail network operates. You wouldn't have to do that here because it's an existing heavy rail, and so you would build a city centre section that was already compatible with the National Railway network. So nobody can put an actual figure on it, but you're talking something that's conceivable in cost terms, rather than being £1 billion flight to fancy, which is what a lot of the 2040 plan for West Yorkshire is.
Councillor Forrest.
Same question.
Same question. All right. Councillor.
Yeah, and network rail signed onto this sort of idea. Will you be using network rail track?
No, separately, I'm a visiting professor of transport at Huddersfield University as well as at Salford.
Yeah.
And there's the Institute of Railway Research at Huddersfield University, and together with Network Rail, we are developing a best practice guide for implementing tram train. So Network Rail are on board to try and make sure tram train is an option in dozens of cities across the country. Because if you have bespoke schemes that have to be delivered just for that city, and they are different from the next one, they're going to be slower, they're going to be more expensive. So every tram scheme up to now in Britain has required a dedicated fleet of different trams, which are obviously expensive to manufacture. In the case of Manchester, because they funded the building of so many different lines, they've built the second phase of trams, which replaced the original trams from 2008. They built 120 of them. So there's a continuous production line in France or Spain, wherever they were being built, which got the cost down because it's mass production and therefore the unit cost. Whereas if you're only building a dozen trams, it's much, much more expensive. Yeah. So we need things to be compatible, which they haven't been up to now. And so this work with Network Rail is to try and make sure there is a standard product, which will reduce the cost of building the route and of implementing tram train and of building the tram trains. So Network Rail are clearly interested that they don't have the money to do it, but technically they would have to work with it because you're onto the National Rail network. And the only real difference between tram train and the tram is the strength of the body. If you look in Sheffield at the super trams, which have been there since 1994, and the tram trains that have been there since 2018, they look remarkably similar. The difference is the tram train would stand a collision with a heavy rail train much more satisfactorily than the tram, which is just, it was a squash. So it's really the strength of the shell of the tram train, which is the big difference.
It's certainly a long overdue project, is joining the stations.
Yeah.
So there was originally a proposal to join the stations together going back many years.
And there was one in Manchester, big. Manchester, they built a tunnel in the 1970s, it never happened. If you don't get a tunnel in Manchester, you're certainly not going to get one in Bradford.
Okay, any more questions?
Yes, I love it in a way, and it's nice to have somebody actually looking at Bradford as a possibility. And obviously we could all, from our own local knowledge, bring up loads of complications that might be involved in the process of construction. The idea is great, and I can only say that you're not Richard Knowles, are you?
I am.
Oh, well, I'm very pleased to meet you, Professor. I wish you well. I mean, it's like a shot out of the blue coming down to here for our meeting tonight and finding a suggestion that would be particularly helpful to me, because as you get older, I don't drive anymore. I'm using the services that are available, which is not too bad. I just hope the free pass goes with it as well.
That's not good here when it's built.
I'm sure you'll discuss this once that's gone, but the best way of making sure something like this develops into a practical proposal is for a series of town councils in the Airedale and Wharfdale Valley saying, yeah, we would like to see that. Baildon have already done it. I'm going to Ilkley in a few weeks' time. It would be absolutely great if Bingley Town Council said, yeah, we like this. We would like to see this proposal be investigated thoroughly because we think it would transform access for our community into Bradford City Centre.
Marcus, what are we?
When you spoke to Riker, did you not speak about incorporating it into their 2040 ambitious plan?
The 2040 plan was already completed as far as they were concerned, and so when I made this proposal in January this year, they said they would look at it this autumn after the latest round of consultation on the 2040 plan. The point I would make, and I've made this to Councillor Hinchcliffe, not in person, by email, is that if you want to do something that will happen fairly quickly and have a transformational impact on Bradford, this is what you really need to push for, rather than a gold-plated scheme for the whole of West Yorkshire, which would require billions of pounds worth of funding, and nobody knows where the funding is going to come from.
I mean, the timescale alone, I think for the mass transit plan, it's text till 2030 before we can actually do anything. And that's just going through the consultation, procurement, everything else.
That's right.
So yours, even though it's a lot smaller, it's still going to take a long time before you can actually get to where you're going to do anything.
I've mentioned 5 to 10 years is the realistic minimum time it would take, because yes, you do have to go through all that planning and engineering and technical spec, and as well as getting the funding together, and the actual construction, given how short the track is, you're probably talking 18 months for the actual construction.
I mean, there's got to be some conversations taking place to connect the two stations, if nothing else. Because that's a huge problem. A problem too, 150 years ago.
And it will get worse. It will get worse if interchange is replaced by James Street. Because James Street's on the far side of Wakefield Road, beyond Canal Road, Shipley Airedale Road, and so it's quite a hike from there into the city centre. At least you can see the city centre from interchange in Foster Square, even though they're not quite in it. So in a sense, it's even more important that you've got a rail link between the two stations, and you can extend it from interchange to the James Street site relatively easily, but it would need to be planned when the James Street station detail planning took place.
Well, thank you very much.
That's okay, that's fine.
Very
Let's say if anybody would like a copy of the PowerPoint, you should have seen.
I'll send it.
Well, you can.
Sorry.
Can I tell you way back to your car?
Turn left and keep walking. It's taught me that I don't know constantly, and certainly I don't know it in the dark. And relying on the sat-nav is not a good thing.
Not round here. Thank you very much.
It's a continuation of the street. If you go straight up, past the fence, and keep going. And
Oh, yeah, that's what we're in. All right, okay. So straight forward through farmyard, okay. Right.
Very unusual.
Okay, we will move on to 23, 24, 136. representation from Bradford Council, Ward Councils, just anything guys that you want to update or share with us or ask us?
Yeah, and is it the other way around as well? You can
Yeah.
submit any sort of request to take to Bradford Council, for instance. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot. I mean, the public consultations now are looking for the draft district plan. Interesting, we attended a wider session on that mass transit system last month. And it would actually fall into that because on this side of Bradford, it's just using the existing rail network to actually improve the bus services. Because the whole idea is to take it out of private ownership and put it back into control of local authorities. So it'll improve. They're on about hubs, so you'll have maybe a hub in Bingley, the Hopper buses going to Cotton in East Morton, Cumberland, Elwick, but the main through line of the S650. So it's getting more cost effective with more services, you know, more frequent. What else is there to report? Oh, as a member of the Parliament, we actually refused the application for Eldwick Grange for the 3 detached houses was up. I think you guys had already opposed it and David spoke against it. So that was a good result for now. I'm sure they'll be back. Because they have got outline permission for 3 bungalows back in 2012. So we'll see. You mentioned the emergency response group. On the Friday, the 20th, I think it was, all 3 district councillors were out and about. The only representative from the emergency response group was Steve Williams, who actually had any input. There was a lot of confusion with both the officers and people who was attending the day as to what is the emergency response group.
Steve isn't actually in it, he's not on the committee.
Well, he was the only one that didn't, and that's the problem. So you've created a group, but the WhatsApp group is still what it was.
That we don't
2 or 3
control
years
that.
ago.
It's Michelle Chapman that controls that WhatsApp group. That's nothing to do with the town
Well,
council.
the council used it. The council used it, so Andy Alderson, what's the guy who started it back in 2017?
Is that Chris Sloan?
Chris and Andy, and everybody's using that.
Yeah, we don't
So
have
what do you use?
access to it.
What do you actually
don't use anything, do we?
Have you got something set up?
No.
So the ERG as it stands is pretty ineffectual.
Well, we're not a response group, we're a subcommittee.
Of which group?
Well, the finance committee. Yeah. So we're not a
So
response.
hasn't the town council got a group together to attend to a crisis in Bingley?
There is a emergency response subcommittee. We are in liaison with McBorough regarding our roles and responsibilities, and we did try to get some training last month, but for illness it was cancelled, and it is tomorrow where we were going through with Bradford Council's emergency planning officer as to how we can interact with them and signpost to the relevant bits of the authority or other partners.
Do we need to feed into that, this WhatsApp group then, that seems to be the one that people are using, but if it's separate to everything?
I think GDRP prevents anybody giving us their list for us to use, which is stupid in my view.
Well, it's just a question, should someone from the emergency response group be in that WhatsApp group?
Well, Michelle is, and she's one of our lay members.
Yeah, exactly, that's the point.
But as the council, as the town council, what are we doing?
Yes.
This is what we need to be able to respond to.
So, the last proper emergency we had, where I think we were based in the Hull, I just got a phone call from Bingley Town Council because I think Helen had it flagged up, and we just call each other if you like. I didn't know this time. Has there actually been incidents this time?
Well,
I mean, I've kept watching the river, and it didn't seem that
Rugby club flooded, and according to Michelle Chapman, there were a couple of residents that got hold of her, but it was surface water runoff rather than
Because, you know, cause
the
I've
she
basically
basically dealt with.
but I've heard nothing about it.
So the point is, Joe, on that group that's active,
Yeah.
the WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
So we flagged up the need for sandbags at the fire station. So then the council then respond to that and get that sorted out.
Yeah.
But if there's actually no town council involvement in that, I mean, when Chris first set it up, it was for the town council to run, along with any invited outside agents. But it's not happening now, is it? That's the point.
The Rotary Club actually asked if anyone had any sandbags to give them a hand, and I volunteered to take them down in the pickup, but there was no sandbags available anywhere to actually use.
Yeah.
So basically what we need is we just need a little
We need to.
coordination.
It is that link.
I actually drove in, the water was above the wheels of my pickup.
Yeah, no, the water.
It's the link between a private WhatsApp group
Yeah.
and us that is the difficulty. Now I'm sure if Michelle thought that we needed to be prodded and poked into action, then we would, and we would go through our contacts.
You've got to be realistic as well, though, haven't you? Which is what we've said in the subcommittee meetings. You know, we only have 16 councillors, but not everyone's on the subcommittee. Not everyone's got keys to the hub.
No, but I think we need to look at if that WhatsApp group was set up as the council WhatsApp group, and Michelle was a councillor at the time. I think she's just kept it and it's moved. Whether we take it back, we might decide we don't want to. We might decide it's not a problem. It's now Michelle's, but we need someone to be there so we're informed.
I think we can drill into that within and maybe discuss it tomorrow with Michelle if she wants to.
Tomorrow.
I mean, Michelle's been involved since before being a town council started, so it's probably been running since then, because she was there from 2015, major one.
It may be that she just needs to look who's on that group.
I don't think it was town group, but I don't think
I
it
don't
was
know.
town council group as much as Michelle's, wasn't it?
No,
The group was dominated by town councillors when it was set up.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, we had training, didn't we?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
So Helen's still down on that group, and then, because I checked the list, who's still on it. Steve's still on it, Helen's still on it. Michelle's obviously on it.
It's a private group. It's a private group.
Yeah, it's not town council.
It's not town council WhatsApp page. It's a private group.
So what were the town council doing 2 weeks ago then to combat the threat of the university's bank at Castlefield and Ashgrove?
The council have already given a grant to Castlefields towards a pump, which I've used. I've been out and about early looking at rivers, and yes, the rugby club pitch was flooding, but it is on a floodplain. At a point where we need to get in touch with Bradford Council, then we will get in touch with Bradford Council.
So the contact is the chap you mentioned earlier on that never responded to you?
Mick Burrow is the contact, but Bradford Council's response as to when we asked for some backdoor contacts was you've got to ring 431,000 or use council contact.
Is technology from Chris Sladen?
Yes, yeah. So
I know that when I was a district councillor we got a weekly list with who the emergency contact numbers were that week. We are, to press, being denied that information.
So as a response group?
We can ring 431,000 is the current status for Bradford Council.
At present, though, so you haven't got a fit-for-purpose group in place, basically, to respond to any crisis that happens?
Yeah, we have some equipment, we have some volunteers that will go out and when we can get all the sandbags, deliver them.
Yeah. So that Friday then, did somebody contact you? Did you say you contacted someone to get sandbags but no one answered?
No, I didn't contact
So
anybody.
why didn't anybody contact our ward officer?
Michelle Chapman I think contacted Bradford Council. I'm not sure who she contacted.
She spoke to Andy.
She spoke to Andy,
Well,
because she then sent a message out to the town council, and that was the first I saw that there was a problem.
I mean, that was Michelle, for some reason Michelle wandered into, or got speaking to somebody each morning that were having difficulties, but apart from that, at 6:20 on that morning, that was it from Michelle. But, I mean, nothing happened seriously in the end, but the point was, there was confusion both with council officers and district councillors as to who is on hand with Steve Williams, who is actually active on Bingley's response group.
Well, we haven't got one really. We've got a response group.
We have an emergency response committee which are currently looking at how we can respond within the constraints of us as a body and what Bradford Council allows access of information to and from.
I question that then, because there is no restrictions. And the only restriction is that you haven't got the correct contact list or the correct people involved in the group.
Well, I would have thought the senior emergency planner for Bradford would be a good person that we keep bringing to our group.
But there's nobody in that response team that's effective at present, and that's the problem.
But maybe you pick that up at the training tomorrow and see how we get better communication. So, because it is bad if there is flooding in the parish and we're not aware of it, or we're not.
When there's willing bodies out there, you know, we want to welcome. But it's so just to move things on. We just between us, we need to just come up with a strategy so that everybody is singing off the same sheet. That's all. Not criticising what's happened already happened.
It's highlighting a failing.
Absolutely fine. Okay, we're happy with that.
So that's what we need to use it as a learning opportunity. It also didn't work.
But isn't that the ward councillor's job to give us sort of help us out with the right?
This is the point. So am I on this group or aren't I? I'm still on the emergency response group WhatsApp page where everybody links in and reacts to and goes out and solves an issue.
But that's not ours.
But it was ours, that's the point. It was
So
ours.
Everybody needs to be brought back under the same umbrella.
Absolutely, that's
We've been trying to do, but GDPR has been brought up that Michelle can't transfer that information.
Well, as long as you get permission.
Yeah, all you need is permission.
As long as you get permission, you can do that. And if you're not willing to do that, set a new one up. And invite people. Just start again and say, right, we're relaunching it. We're restarting it out. Do you still want to be on it? Anybody else? Redo it. It's only a set of phone numbers, isn't it, on a mobile phone at the end of the day. Just a bit of
but it does need everybody coordinating so that it's most efficient, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So can we pick that up tomorrow and try and move it forward so we do have a coherent set of responses should another issue arise?
If we can get any volunteers.
And if there's an issue with GDPR, let me know and I'll look it up.
Magic it out of the air.
I'll find out what we can do about that.
But we do need someone who is knowing about these things at the very least.
I want to move this on now.
Yeah,
But when we did have the last sort of proper emergency, if you like, Michelle were there in the hub, along with Ellen.
Yeah.
So that would run as a coordinated operation. So I don't know who put the word out initially, unless Michelle got in touch with Helen. I don't know.
Who wants that,
Is there anything else from the ward councillors, or is there anything any of the Bingley town councillors want to ask of the ward councillors? No.
I just like to ask Susan because she's been very active in 2025, and I think that's on our agenda at some stage. We've got regular meetings and.
Yeah, do you want to say a few words?
So just what you're doing.
Yeah. We've been having monthly meetings which are on the first Thursday of the month at 11 AM, which are sort of keeping the core group. I know it's not convenient for most people, but we need to keep the momentum going because it's enabling us to share ideas, identify any potential issues and work out how we're going to address those issues. So it has been very useful. We've had one evening meeting. All of the meetings have been very well attended. The next meeting is this Thursday, 11 a.m. at the Arts Centre. All of the meetings are open if anyone's interested. And at the stage now, we're just pulling together ideas. With a lot of ideas already for 2025. So I'm optimistic that by the December meeting, we will have a sort of draft plan for the year with the groups who want to do particular activities, and hopefully can work with them, support them to achieve their ambitions for Bigland. As I say, the meetings, anyone's welcome if they're interested.
You've got all the schools available.
Yeah, I've been speaking to the schools separately because obviously the commitments on them are enormous. So I'm working with the school heads as well on school projects for the children, arts projects, singing projects. So yeah, we're just at the ideas stage, but the response has been fantastic across the whole of Bingley. A lot of people really want to make something great in 2025, so just do what we can.
The Arts Centre was successful in their grant bid as well, weren't they? So they got they haven't disclosed the amount, but it's I think it's to enhance the old stage at the back and put a lift in there for easy access.
We were told that that first round of grants, the focus was on improving access to venues. So we were obviously very disappointed that the bandstand wasn't successful. But we've been told there may be other opportunities to press that forward. I'm, trying to keep the pressure going. Obviously, that the bandstand desperately needs money spending on it, and if everybody can, anyone got any ideas, we need to press on.
Is the 2025 project self-funded? Or is it funded by
I don't know. I mean, I'm not part of 2025, if you see what I mean. It's a separate company organisation.
Yeah.
I'm not part of that. Well, I just sort of self-appointed one offering to help. If people are in Bingley want to do stuff for 2025, I'm trying to help with communication with the council and the 2025 team, but I haven't myself.
The 2025 team have said that they're bidding for funds, aren't they? So they're getting money from sourcing money.
I don't know whether you were at the Elwick meet when they had last presentation, but they've got a real bundle of money already. I mean, millions now already.
It's just to ask the question because it's disappointing news to hear this morning that Bradford's going to be a shortfall in the budget of about 86 million or something. Or announced on the news, which has got a lot of...
And my starting point with everybody is, we need to be creative and innovative because, we've got a minimum. We were unsuccessful with the bid for the bandstand, so I haven't delved into the financial side of it. They're going to be rolling out more grant opportunities. We've got to keep an eye out on those and put in bids as and when.
Thank you.
In December.
They said they'd come back and give you So we'll see. Okay, we'll move on. Thanks very much, all councillors. Feel free to leave as well if you're around. Feel more welcome to stay. We will move on to 23, 24, 137 ongoing items. First one is Bingley Pool.
So we've got an AGM booked for this Thursday, the 2nd of November at Cardigan House, 6:30. We're using it as a bit of a regroup, a relaunch, because we've had a sort of turbulent few months where we've lost quite a few trustees. And we are using the AGM to appeal for more trustees to come forward. And also to encourage the members of the public to comment on the Bingley Development Framework, which says in some ways that they are committed to leisure improvement in Bingley and that they are wanting to reopen the swimming pool, but that comes at a price because it's going to be a private development hotel spa complex, and there's no clarity as to how much that will give access to the public, the community, and you know whether it will be a municipal pool, it won't be. So it's crunch time now as to whether that. So we're trying to reform, get more trustees on board, and you know sort of think towards a survey where we ask the public to say what they've lost since the pool closed, really, rather than what they want from the pool, because we think we need to take a different approach to it. So we are sort of relaunching in a way, and everybody's welcome to the AGM on Thursday.
Yeah,
I'm
but...
sure you just scratching your head.
No. Obviously mentioned, was it Advantage 40-something or other that made the original proposal, which Bradford Council seemed to have kicked into the proverbial long grass. Have they given you any other indication about their market testing where the whole site, i.e. the town hall, swimming pool and parts of the works area would be up for sale rather than a leased option to a not-for-profit company? No,
all we are aware of is that there's a, I'm not quite sure of the term, but it's out for marketing. You know, interesting parties can come forward with proposals for the site. That's about as much as we can find out, really, at the moment. And we haven't been in direct contact with the director of place for quite a few months since just after the Lebanon midfield. But that's going to have to be picked up. But we just haven't had the numbers on the trustee group to be able to do these things. So that's why we're sort of trying to get people to come forward who have these skills, really, and have a bit of time on it.
Has the AGM been well publicised? Because I don't think I've seen it everywhere.
It's been put onto Facebook.
I've seen it a few times.
We've sent it out to members because we have quite an extensive membership. We send newsletters out to. Yeah, we've publicised it on Facebook and we've shared it on the community groups quite a bit. So it is around. We haven't had the time to put posters up and things like that and get them done. So it's just going to have to be done this way, really. But again, it's manpower and time that we're struggling for at the minute. There's 5 of us, and you know we're not all fully available full time.
Okay. Any more questions on the pool? No. Next one is the speed indicator devices. No update. No.
Did we say at the last meeting if they couldn't bother updating us that we consider actually striking it from our works programme?
We'll come on to that.
Okay.
So we'll move on to 23 and 24 on 138 finance. So we received and approved the scheduled payments for October. Anybody got any questions on the scheduled payments for October? Proposed by Councillor Bird, seconded by Councillor Turner, all in favour of scheduled payments, yes. Okay. To agree the reconciliations for September 23. Any questions? No. Proposed by Councillor Bird, seconded by Councillor Mallow, all in favour. Okay. And then to consider potential projects for the budget for 23-24. So
24, 25.
24-25. Yeah. So this is just here, so obviously we're starting the budget setting process. So if anybody does have any projects they want to bring forwards, obviously we've already got, I think we've already agreed, we'll do play in the park, we'll do bandstand concerts. I'm expecting we'll be doing Christmas lights next year. This is where I think SIDS do come in. Do we make any provision for them next year? We need to decide whether we do or not. At this point, I think we'll just park it until we're something that then we can pick it up again. Yeah. Because we've been waiting for so long. So there's no point.
Can we put anything in for the flood problems? Do you think problems?
As a project,
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything we can do. If there's something,
If there's an issues with floods and things like that, can we not have a provision in case there's a problem?
again, if that's something that people want to propose, so if people want to start thinking about what they might want to suggest we do, so we can make changes and start thinking about what things might cost. Because effectively we've only got 2 more meetings before we have to agree the budget as a full council. So get your projects.
Yeah, we've got one and
And
then.
the agreement, yeah. So if you've got some projects in your back pocket that you want to bring forward, now's the time to fill them up. Okay, so 23 and 24, 139, Events, Marketing and Communications Committee. You have the draft minutes. There were 2 things really that came out of it. One is for councillors to approach the custodians of the notice boards in their wards to see if we can put up either copies of the newsletters that we send out every month, or just a general, this is when the town council meets, whether it's FGP, settlements, the plans,
Used to do that all the time.
So if there is a notice board in your ward, can we request from people to do it?
You can put one on my notice board if you want.
And the other thing we were talking about is actually getting the notice board by the hub moved so that it faces, turns around and goes about 6 foot that way, so it's actually by the walkway where people go away from the trees, but where there's a lot more footfall that goes past it rather than where it's currently
In a ridiculous spot at the minute.
It is in a ridiculous spot. But I think that's it from Emac and what's in the minutes. Any questions? No? Okay. 23, 24, 140, Finance and General Purposes Committee. Now, Councillor Winner's not here. I think the
minutes out anyway, so.
the minutes are, I was saying the deputy chair is me, but I wasn't at the last meeting. So if someone does anybody have any questions on the minutes?
Nothing contentious, really.
Nothing contentious. No, we'll move on then. Okay. 23, 24, 141, Planning Committee.
Yes, I'll just go back to the meeting earlier in September where we had this unexplained thing. David, there was we requested it went to a planning panel. It did go to planning panel last week, which David kindly attended on our behalf, and as he reported to me, yes, it was refused. So that was good.
Through the chair, I can't hear you.
Right, at last Wednesday, David went to a planning panel because they were discussing Hanks Lane, where they were going to build 70 houses. And we had said we'd objected to it.
Elwick Grange last week.
David went last week and it was refused.
It was Elwick Grange last week.
Elwood
Elwick
Grange.
Grange.
So Elwood Grange has been refused. Heights Lane, do we know then? Heights Lane.
Heights Lane is still within the system.
Sorry, I don't know when it's time to do it. And the last meeting, there was nothing said the last meeting, so the plan is true.
Any questions for Councillor Clough? 23-24-142, 5 Rise waymarking, progress update. There is no progress. I've been on holiday. I need to pick it up and push it forward. 23-24-143, policies to review and approve the following policies: the information security and the security incident policy. They're both unchanged, aren't they?
Yeah, just updated.
Yeah.
From tidied up.
Yeah.
No major significant change.
Did anybody have any questions on either of them? I suppose we should approve them separately. So, information technology and cyber security proposed by Councillor Carney, seconded by Councillor Heselton. All in favour? Yeah. Security incident policy, proposed by Councillor Clough, seconded by Councillor Good. All in favour? Yeah. Thank you. So, 23 and 24, 144, Christmas trees for 2024.
Yeah, you've all got a copy of a rough outline of the proposed Christmas tree for going forward from next year. It's an artificial illuminated tree, and it can do all sorts of things. It can be controlled by an app. You can write Happy Christmas in it or whatever you want to do. And the cost is around £12,000. The Bradford Festival Lights will we can finance it over 3 years, so that will save us having a great swatch of money to pay out at once. Now, for those people with any doubts about it, you will get to go this particular year. You go into Keithley, you will see Keithley's got a tree. That the picture that you've got is of the Keithley tree, ready for delivery to from Festival Lights in Bradford through to Keithley. It's quite impressive when you see it up. It's obviously a little different from what we're normally used to, like a real tree, but it's just a thought of what the council feels, so we feel it's worth pursuing, and we can put some numbers together, or has anybody got any concerns? I mean, that's
No, I'll make a suggestion, but I think I put it to you already. I think when you put one at Keighley, let's go look at the one at Keighley and then bring it back to this meeting and discuss it.
What is the anticipated life expectancy of said artificial tree? And bearing in mind it's electronics and apps and whatever else, how robust is that system? Because we don't want somebody hacking in and putting naughty things on it. but it is a concern. Technology is great, and I can remember when Shipley got their artificial tree and were ribbed mercilessly because it looked dreadful. I know last year's tree wasn't particularly exciting because it seemed to have had a bit of a drag on the floor, but there's something about a proper tree to me if you're having a tree. But let's go look at Keith.
I think you have to just look at the bearing the costs of what these new trees, what a real tree is costing. It's artificial. You'll get at least 5 years, if not 6 years, out of the tree of the artificial tree that's proposed here.
Christmas without a tree. Sorry, I'm a traditionalist.
What was the cost of the tree?
It was £5,000.
Was how much, sorry?
£1,000. 12,000. So that's £1,000 store with it. What's the storage?
I think it was about £1,000, wasn't it?
It was £1,000, yeah. Big tree, yeah.
Robert.
Yes, just a quick question. Chamber of Trade, are they financially viable enough to put in a contribution?
No,
it's not to do with
it. It's nothing to do with the Chamber of Trade. This is Ridley Town Council. This is actually rather, we've got a potential complication of adding extra costs. You've heard on the news today that Bradford's obviously short of money. They've got a shortfall of 50-odd million. 68. So notwithstanding that, there is a potential that the £4,000 that they actually pay to put the lights up in Bingley, which is covered by them, might go. So we might be hit with another bill on top of what we've got of £4,000-ish. Because I mean, they'll obviously know that manipulate the figures to get back what they're after. So it's a threat, but we've not had any. It's just something that would be worth noting.
We're still considering charging us for the electric for the Christmas light switch on day.
They've never said anything about that.
There is reasonable suggestions that they are actually considering charging us for the electric. Somebody would have to take the meter reading in the morning and the meter reading at night.
I mean, this is still going to cost us £1,000 a year after 3 years, so from how I read this.
Yeah, that's right, because
So I just, that's why I'm jumping against it.
Well, no, can I make a proposal?
Can I just ask my question first?
Sorry.
Because at the moment,
Apologise.
at the moment we provide free trees. At the moment we provide free trees. Obviously that's a tree.
Yeah.
What happens to the other two?
Well, they're just
as they are at present, and then we'll look at moving forward to see how, what changes we need to make.
I think my concern would be, David's concern, and that'd be damage to something like that. It's difficult to damage a big real tree, but I'd just like to say,
that's why I put it
I'm not.
So the people want to vote on it tonight.
This is inside.
I think you should get a look at it. It's not going to be this chair.
It's not inside, the picture
Let's have
we've
get it
got
ready.
inside Festival Lights building. It's in the workshop. It's going outside.
Mark's made the suggestion, it's not going to happen until next year anyway. So let's have a look at it and then bring it back to the next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
That's why I put a proposal.
no, January, we full council.
And that will also let us know if they are going to charge us this £4,000 for the lights as well, won't it?
Yeah, well, I suppose. We might get away with this year.
Maybe this year, yeah.
When they do the budgets.
Knowing that before we do our budget.
Well, you have to put it in the budget, wouldn't you? You have to put it in the budget.
Yeah.
So we absolutely need to make a decision before we bring the January. So, because our next full council meeting is at the start of December, so I suppose it'll be up on so people can have a look before then.
Yeah, we'll have a look at it. I mean,
We can bring it back in.
That's the answer.
It is different, that's for sure.
We'll bring it back to next month's meeting. Okay, 23-24, 145.
With respect, you need to leave it till after that, wouldn't you? Because we'll be lit up then.
I think we need to leave it till the January meeting.
That's what I'm saying.
For the January meeting, then we've got to make a decision and amend the budget accordingly, because we've got to agree the budget at the January meeting.
We need a risk and resource, don't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For all these projects.
For any project, or a business plan. Right,
Well, yes.
23-24, 145. Town clerk's report. Received the town clerk's report. Anybody got any?
I'm sorry, because finance and general purposes committee mentions grade and clean, and there's usually a slot.
Yes,
I should have, yeah, okay. Just to say that the plants have arrived and the bulbs have arrived. I've already delivered some. Prince of Wales have got all theirs. I've delivered all theirs because. Anyway, there's a bit of a mishmash. I'm going to sort it all out. The plants are there. I'll inform Nicola when they're ready, or Debbie when they're ready, and they'll go out to the groups. To answer your question, Nicola, about contracts going forward, I have no idea yet, but we'll find that out.
We'll work it out.
Yeah, okay. I was in touch on another matter with Carlton. He was saying he got some really positive responses when he was taking the baskets down from local people, saying how nice they've been. And I think the weather's a lot to do with that. As mentioned earlier, Little Peak, we're going to hopefully tidy up in preparation for the parade for the remembrance on the 12th. So that's early morning for a couple of hours.
Chair, can I just add something in there that I should have said at the beginning? Because when you were talking about Remembrance Day, I had a bit of a near miss outside, so I was a bit distracted. Somebody nearly ran me over. So I just wanted to say thank you again for...
We haven't done it.
But you will be doing, won't you?
Hopefully, yeah.
And if I've got time, I'll come and help.
Oh, no, well, yeah, like that.
And just a couple of other things. So every school in Bingley is involved now in the Remembrance Day. Keithley Detachment cadets have joined Bingley, so we're going to have 50 cadets marching. And just thank you to Councillor Heseltine who sorted out the flag raising for us, which we're hoping will go up tomorrow.
I think it's something like that.
I think it's
next
the
day,
first, isn't
yeah.
it? Because it's always a sticking point, that one, so thank you very much. But sorry, I should have said that.
Yeah, noticed the poppies are up in the last one.
Yeah, we've got 20 up now, and we're going to have 5 in cross flats. We're just going to increase every year. Sorry.
That's all right. So, was there anything on the town box before? No. 23, 24, 146, correspondence. So, okay. Email from the Office of Philip Davis, resident concerns, overgrown plants and pavements.
I've never seen that.
I don't know if I've seen it.
I've never seen that.
I think I sent it on.
Well, I've seen it.
Yes, that's the one where
Yes.
the person said, why don't the town councillors go out and dig it and
Yeah.
dig the pavement?
I don't hear it.
Yeah, exactly. And he
Sent
said,
it.
no, who'd sent it, that's what they've got back.
The Office of Philip Davis forwarded it on to me.
Right.
So,
And you did send it out.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it.
I'm not aware.
That for Councillor Shaw.
Damn, I've looked for it. I haven't seen it. Send it in.
That's
Just noted it.
Yeah,
My goodness, I would be more concerned about it.
Noted then, okay.
slagging off.
So B, the email from YLCA about full council training in January 2024. So I think we talked about this a couple of meetings ago. I think we've had some advice from the City Solicitor's Office that the training should be effectively mandatory, so everybody should turn up. So we need to agree a date that people can turn up for, and we all need to sit and go through the training together. We have some dates rather than January.
No, she just gave us January dates.
What
We have some dates, specific dates in January.
Can there be evenings?
It will be in the evening.
Has she given us any specific dates?
She has, yeah, I forwarded it on to everybody. It was, I think, any night apart from Fridays. I'll have to find the email and forward it on again, because we need to agree a date.
We do need to
That's
agree
what
a
we
date.
said.
I've actually responded to that. I haven't responded to that, I don't think. Anyway, will you send it out then, please?
Yeah.
So we'll send out the email with the dates, and can everybody respond immediately?
But then she did say they'd charge us, so they're going to charge us for 16 councillors, no matter how many attend.
Yeah.
So that's why it needs to be. And staff, I think, should be attending as well.
We should all attend together.
Yeah.
So we'll circulate the dates, but are there any days that are particularly problematic for people? I mean,
Just
some people
find the email. The week's commencing either the 15th or 22nd of January. Does that sound right?
Concerned me is a Monday.
Pardon?
The only day that I'm concerned is Monday. Other than that, I'm usually pretty free.
Monday's football training.
Steve said that Thursdays were difficult for him, and I think on that email, Sheena said that she can't do Fridays, hasn't she?
To out to Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can't do she can't do the Friday on either week.
Yeah.
Tuesday might be a good day because we would have full council meetings on Tuesdays and we get...
And we're having it early.
Well, pardon?
We're having it early, aren't we?
No, I didn't mean having it, I didn't mean particularly having it on, I wasn't suggesting having it on the same day. I was saying Tuesdays, most people.
If it's that way,
What day did he say?
Tuesday 15th, planning meeting.
well, it might be full council.
Council, what we should have.
Perhaps we just circulate the dates.
What else is fixed?
If you can turn up, you can. If you can't, you can't. Oh, that's a bit personal,
Yeah,
that,
I think just that's been so.
Tuesday or Wednesday, and either
Tuesday planning meeting.
Yeah, so if you've got next week, because it's early, isn't it? I think it's 8th and 9th, it's.
No, because the full council is,
No, that.
Full council is the 9th.
yeah, which is when the planning meeting would have been.
Oh.
Yeah, I found the same email as the Mo site, and it's week
And where's
commencing
that?
15th January, but not Friday, and the same in week commencing 22nd of January. So you've got basically Monday
What about-
15th, which is
What about
Thursday.
the Wednesday after the FNGP?
That's on the 3rd, is that on?
Work and G presumably.
The 24th.
FNGP so late? I thought it was-
No, the Wednesday after the FNGP will be on the, oh, that's the 10th.
10th,
Ah,
yeah.
10th, that's it. So
Yeah,
it's
9th and 10th
17th
is
then.
planning FGP.
17th.
So 17th is the Wednesday, 24th is Wednesday.
What's
So
that?
that's our provisional date. We'll circulate that around to people to confirm that they're going to attend.
And contact.
Yeah.
Whites.
Make sure they've got it.
Tuesday 17th.
I think so.
Did you say 17th?
Yeah,
Wednesday, the 17th.
no.
No.
It's say probably the hook, but
Yeah.
if we're all there, it's going to be a bit.
It's a month, yeah.
We'll source that, it'll be somewhere central. Okay, so, email from a resident re the objection to Merton Park mountain bike race and the children
A member of the Melton Park committee said one particular member were right against it. She thought that it was a big event that happened often and it's unrecovered and want to follow about it. So I don't know.
I don't know.
My initial idea, but I haven't been to it.
It did look a mess.
Yeah, but has it recovered?
The thing that I got from residents is it was 50-50. Some people thought it was a brilliant event.
Yeah,
Some people thought it made a mess of it.
yeah.
I don't think it pleased anyone.
No.
Whichever way we went.
I just like us to know about it.
Maybe organised events, and it's obviously been organised by Bradford Council. They should have something within there, a charge to bring the surface back to an acceptable level
That's
for
the bit I didn't
all.
know about it until after it happened.
Should that, I know that the Bingley Music thing used to have a contingency in its budget to return the park back to fit for purpose. So if it's a commercial, or not even a commercial, but a sporting event where members are paid to go in, then they should pay for it, put it back right.
Apparently it's
Particularly when most of them come from Bingley.
It's an ongoing thing. I don't think we had it before, yeah, I think as far as I've got that impression.
I never knew it existed.
I never left it until after it happened.
I think that would annoy anybody, wouldn't it, a mountain bike race in the park. Am I on the right of Brighton?
Yeah.
I mean, you can imagine you're in the park, just enjoying yourself, and you have something like that go on.
Well,
it's not right.
It's organised.
Well, it's an organised event, well, it's not organised by us. That's
Well, obviously it's a
It's
police.
one of the reasons we have parks, isn't it, for events?
No, it's a police.
Just providing it's done correctly.
Did you have something to say?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was just, my own personal thoughts were it was an ideal use of public amenities for a great event. I went down, if I'd have known about it, I'd have actually gone to watch it. But I went down the following day, walking my dog. Sure, you could see tracks where they'd been. 2 days later, you couldn't see them because they just got on.
So it was not organised.
Well, I don't know. But the result, there weren't any scars, long-lasting scars or anything. So it was a good, to me, it was a good event.
Not just a little group of the vagabonds out. It was properly organised
Over the
affair.
Parks Department did something on the Monday, on Sunday or Monday.
Well, it might be with the motorbike race people, but we
Yeah.
just don't know, do we? Okay, we'll move on then. So the email from Bradford Council about the Bingley draft development framework. I mean, I would encourage everybody to read it and comment themselves. As a council, I don't think we're a statutory consultant or anything, are we? So, from our perspective, do we want a council response or are we happy?
I think we do either your comment or we comment as a group. Because
I suppose it's how it reflects our emerging neighbourhood plan, isn't it? And maybe somebody who's familiar with the neighbourhood plan needs to have a quick whiz through both and highlight what concurs with our plan and what is opposing our plan and point that out to us. But it needs some, and I know Steve isn't doing any work at the minute, but maybe sat down and have a little read and a jot might be something nice for him to do.
He's good at stuff like that.
He is.
Okay, so we're
Excellent at stuff like that.
I think given the plan for the town hall and park and swimming pool, it's essential. Council of their say.
Flogging it off, isn't it?
anybody got any more comments on that one?
Alistair dropped you in it.
Okay, so the last council rules. The email from 0 Hour reading the climate equality bill. Anybody got any? I don't know. I think this one's
Noted.
They were asking us, I think, to support it when they was at the council.
Noted.
Noted.
Reading the room. The email from Astor Bannerman, confirmation of successful maintenance tests and changing places of equipment. Again, I think just that report. The email from the Woo of the Year Awards confirming our grading as Platinum Plus. And an invitation to pay a lot of money to go to the awards event on the 18th of January, which I'm assuming we're not going.
You're just going to know that.
Well, I'm just going to note that. I mean, I don't know if someone from Clean Fix wanted to go.
I think Mark, because I did contact Mark from Clean Fix, and he was talking about going and maybe going with Phil.
I think that's great if he does that as his follow-up company thing.
What grade do we get?
I say all expenses paid off.
I've been to the National Motorcycle Museum, I don't need to go again. So, then.
There were also a couple more that came in after the agenda had gone out. There was the email from the resident to one councillor, Bill Wheatley, about Bradford Council classic selling, etc.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I know Michael, you commented.
Excellent.
I wasn't sure of the context because I haven't seen what Joe originally said. So it didn't make a lot of sense to me at all. I'm not sure.
It wasn't to us, was it?
The only thing in it for us seemed to be the bit in the development framework about developing the town hall, the pool, and there's that other bit of land, and whether that gets taken forward. And then I think, as we just agreed, we should look at the our emerging neighbourhood plan and see how that fits with the development framework. I mean, we know, don't we, exactly what the levelling up bid was about with the pool. We know it's always been Bradford's plan B or C for the pool, that they have someone develop it because they're not going to do it, and some development of it rather than the town hall going to rack and ruin would seem to me to be better than nothing.
It is, yeah.
And would help regenerate the town centre. But there's no easy way that's going to happen with the buildings being purposed for what people of Bingley might ideally want. Realistically, that's not going to happen. I think we have to be practical about some of these things.
But he did seem to want a response from us, didn't he? So I didn't know whether he wanted to respond and say,
Well, I think our response is we're looking at the neighbourhood plan and we will comment on the development plan, working how it matches the neighbourhood plan. We're aware of Bradford's ideas of how to regenerate Bingley Town Centre using those key buildings. I don't know. And it's not that we've never said anything about it, it's just what is Bradford going to do about it?
We're not consulted, are we?
We're not consulted, there is no definitive plan for what's going to happen to them. They're just part of that development.
About the Christmas Tree Festival.
Oh, right, yes. The All Saints Christmas Tree Festival. Do we have a willing volunteer who would like to decorate a Christmas tree? Put up a Christmas tree?
Quite happy to do it, but what with? What we're going to
Well,
you normally put things on that relate to what you do, don't
They
you?
normally have a theme.
It's celebrations.
Yeah, they have a theme the other year and I do all those little cards.
we have vast experience in this field. However, I'll show it for you if you want.
No, if you
I'm
want to do
happy.
it, I'll do one for Remembrance Day instead. I can do one for Remembrance Group.
No, I don't want to do it. I'm just saying that I would be happy to do what I've done in the past, and that is provide the tree. So when I say provide the tree, get the tree and install it, come in the afternoon prior to the event. It's only there 2 days.
Yeah,
We have the
we've got
stuff.
the tree, haven't we, in the hub?
Say again?
We've got the tree in the hub, haven't we, because you know, took it down.
Tree? We haven't got a tree in the hub.
Was that not the little?
We've got the decoration. No, we did it. You did it. You decorated it. Down Parish Church, a 5-foot tree.
I thought that was one that we'd got in the
It's
hub
only a
already.
little one.
Yeah, it's only a little.
It's only about that
No,
No, is that
it's
what we just put
Christmas
it in?
tree. Oh, yeah, wait a minute.
Anyway, yes, we did. We went down to the church together, Johnny.
Right, what I'm saying is, I could get hold of a Christmas tree. We've got a stand in the storeroom with decorations in the storeroom. Might not be celebrations. I can't remember what we did last time. But you did a load of.
It was like a season theme.
Yeah.
Made lots of little season tags for it.
Yeah.
Do we want to do it?
It's up to you. It's up
We should do really, shouldn't we?
We should.
Everybody else is.
Yeah. So I'll do my part, which is getting the tree, bringing the tree to the parish church, putting it up on the stand. There's like telling you how to, because the earth plug thing off the plug's missing, so we've got to put a piece of wood in.
Yes, we did.
As I said, vast experience. I'm just looking for.
So do we know what the theme is this year?
Yeah, celebrations.
Celebrations.
Health and safety.
Was that elf and safety?
Yeah. Celebration. We'll just get out of the chocolates, I'll put them on the tree.
I was just thinking that.
We could definitely do some of that. So, okay, so we will do that.
I'm
So,
quite happy to help Nick if you're doing it.
we'll do it.
That's great.
Just send me an email and remind me. 'Cause
Right, 23 and 24, 147 promotional items. To consider any promotional items from this meeting. Well, we've got a few, don't we, Aaron?
We've got the man with the tray, haven't we?
We've got the tram truck, we've got the tram proposal.
Can we promote Moore's AGM for pool?
It won't be over before we really promoted it, but we will do Remembrance Day itself and a little bit prior to it.
That's the first one we did. Shall we pass that round? That's the first one we did. Marcus and I.
Oh yeah, those decorations are still in the store.
I said about 5 foot. No more than 6 foot, I think they're 5 foot. That.
John, do you want to get your bulbs as a promotional item?
Well, you can, yeah, you can probably provide short plants and bulbs again to the community.
And they were on.
Well, yeah. I'd rather not tell them until they're available, that's all.
Alright.
Because you don't want people down in here. Yeah.
And then anything else? Do we want to do the platinum course? I don't know, I think we should.
Yeah.
Having put in for it, we should say how nice they think.
2016, yeah.
The facility now.
Should we invite the public to comment on any budgetary items for next year? They might have some ideas where they want some money spent. Is that opening a can of worms?
Any member of the public who's got any plans or anything wants to contact Michael so he
I missed that.
We down there.
What's that, Michael?
I'm just saying, if we open it up to public and say we're about to set our town budget, is there anything that's...
Oh, I see. Yeah, that sounds sensible.
We are in the budget setting process.
Not asking if there's things that should be doing or not doing.
Somebody did said to me, you seem to be a lot more dominant, you seem to be doing a lot more. Whether it's just because we're publicising it a lot more, I don't know.
I think that's it. We're not doing that.
Communication. But it looks, it's the look, isn't it?
It's not. It's not.
But people don't see it, you know, it's out. But what I'm saying is it's a positive thing, people aren't seeing it.
Yeah. Anything else we should publicise then? No? Okay. So the 23, 24, 148, the date of the next meeting, Tuesday the 5th of December, Binghamton Baptist Church. It was 6:30, it was 6:30, I'm sure it was 6:30. Okay. 23, 24, 149, exclusion of the press and public.